this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
You see it instantly. It's Coldwater Creek, the mark of exceptional workmanship and signature touches inspired by a Mountain West heritage. Distinctive styles created from quality fabrics, silhouettes perfected with just the right drape, feel-good fits offering ease of movement, and thoughtful details to elevate your look. Coldwater Creek's authenticity is embodied in every piece, embracing its confident spirit that carries through to today. Discover Coldwater Creek clothing, designed to fit your life the way you want. For a wardrobe you can count on season after season, visit coldwatercreek.com. Shop the new spring collection at 20% off $75 or more with code IHEART20.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
This episode is sponsored by GoDaddy.com, the world's largest web host and domain name registrar, with domains as low as $1.99 and hosting for less than $5 a month. Enter promo code STUFF10 at checkout and save 10% off your entire order. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Chuck. The red light is on.
Do we have one of those?
No, we need one now.
Yeah, we totally do. It's usually just a, we hear our producer Jerry pressing a button.
Right.
And then we know to go.
Yeah.
We just start talking like talking monkeys.
It's like a German, the German train system. It's very efficient.
Yes, it is, Chuck. Chuck, as you know, it's been an altogether rotten day so far, right?
Yeah, hasn't been our best.
And what is it, like 3:30?
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so luckily it'll be over soon enough.
Yes.
And it's Friday. I'm even worse than I was before because rather than getting my usual Fresca, I got a Diet Cherry Coke by accident. And,
Right.
All respect to the Coca-Cola company. They've done really well for themselves, but Diet Cherry Coke is atrocious.
I like that you're suffering through it anyway rather than
I
wasting
opened it,
Mm-hmm.
I've gotta
good.
make do. But,
honorable.
as bad as our day has been, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you somebody whose day was even worse.
Who's that?
How's that for a segue?
That's good.
I actually just set up the setup for the podcast. What do you think?
You're blowing my mind.
There's this woman named Patricia Whitebull, and she was a Cochiti Indian from outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And back when she was a lovely young 28, she was giving birth to her fourth child, a son named Mark. And she was giving birth via C-section, and there were complications in the surgery. And Mrs. Whitebull developed a blood clot in her lung, and it actually cut off oxygen to her brain, and she lapsed into a coma.
Wow.
Okay, so comas actually happen. They can happen fairly frequently. They're not uncommon.
Right.
But Mrs. Whitebull's type of coma actually is very rare. She was in a coma for 16 years.
Holy cow.
That's a long time to be in a coma.
It is.
So there are other people out there like her. Have you heard of Sonny Von Bulow?
Yeah.
Reversal of Fortune?
Sure.
Yeah. So she's been in a coma for 19 years.
Really?
And a couple of years back, actually, she was moved from this very, very expensive care facility to a slightly less expensive one. It was estimated that her family was spending about $500,000 on her care, as well as hairstylists and manicures and stuff like that. So they finally had to say, we got to move you, Ma.
Right. Was she in the coma from the attempted murder?
Yes.
Really?
Allegedly by her husband, Klaus von Bülow.
Right, who recently passed away, correct?
Actually, it was she who passed away.
Oh, okay.
She did. And this is actually kind of common. I'm not sure how she passed away, but people in comas sometimes pass away from pneumonia or something like that. It's
right.
Just, their body's not functioning very well, so
right.
they can succumb to things like that.
Well, apologies for not being up on my Von Bülow history.
Hey, same here, pal. It's okay. Things move pretty fast in this crazy world of ours.
They do.
So back to Mrs. Whitebull. While Mrs. Von Bülow never woke up, Mrs. Whitebull actually did. After 16 years, this is amazing. This is exceedingly rare.
Wow.
Rarer than a 16-plus year coma is waking up from a 16-plus year coma. Basically, she woke up one day while her one of her caregivers was adjusting the sheets on her bed.
Really?
And she lifted her head and shouted, "Don't do that!" And scared, I imagine, the daylights out of this woman.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, she was writing notes to her family. She called her mother to say Merry Christmas. This happened in December 1999.
Jeez.
And within like a month, she was at a mall. She wanted to see, how the world had changed.
So she went to a mall.
She went to a mall. It's actually a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, you're right.
Because, back when she fell into a coma, Reagan had just started his second term.
Right.
Think about how much the world changed between 1984 and 1999.
Right, no kidding.
And she woke up just in time to get nervous for Y2K.
Yeah.
Good
timing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that it's kind of an uplifting story?
Yeah, we could end it right here, and I would be happy, probably.
I would too, actually.
But we're not.
Yeah. So you want to talk about comas then?
I think so.
I
That's where we're
take
headed.
it from that solicitation?
Yes.
All right. Well, Chuck, let me start.
Okay.
Because I haven't spoken enough so far.
I agree.
I'm just going to kick it off with coma. Comes from the Greek word coma, appropriately enough.
Right, with a K.
With a K. That's the big distinction.
Yes.
And that word is to sleep in the Greek dialect. And that's actually pretty misleading, isn't it?
It is, because when you're asleep, you can wake up, and if you're in a coma, you're not waking up. You don't respond to stimuli like, sight or motor function, stuff like that.
Yeah. And so you can sit there and shout all day at a coma patient. They're not waking up.
Right.
They also don't respond to pain stimuli.
True.
They're just basically out.
Right, but the brain functions.
Part of it does, right?
Right.
Okay, so we should probably talk about the brain. To understand a coma, you kind of have to have a minor understanding of the brain, right?
Major understanding. Yeah.
Major understanding, exactly. So we've got basically three parts.
Yes.
That work to make us these, talking monkeys that we are.
Right.
You got the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. And they communicate with one another. So your cerebrum, that's your higher brain.
Yeah, that controls things like emotion, memory, intelligence, personality,
reason,
learning,
context.
Yeah, it's what most people think of when they think of the brain.
Right.
All that good stuff's in there.
Right.
And it's the largest part, too.
And then you've got the cerebellum, which is in charge of balance and movement.
Right. Also very important.
And then the most ancient part of the brain, evolutionarily speaking, is the brain stem.
Right.
This is like the basic part of the brain. It controls like breathing, blood pressure,
right,
bowel movements, actually.
Yeah, bodily functions.
Exactly. So you put all these together, and you got us, intelligent, reasoning, pooping humans.
Yeah, wrap a skull around it and some skin, and you've got a human.
Exactly. And all these things have to kind of communicate with one another, and they do so through the thalamus. And they send chemical signals to one another that makes your lungs inflate and deflate, and makes you think this person's making fun of me or they're after me or something.
Right.
There's all this stuff combined, as you said, makes us this way. If they stop talking to one another, you got yourself an altered state of consciousness.
Exactly. And there's quite a few of those.
Yeah. You want to talk about some of the other altered states?
Well, yeah, there's the vegetative state that a lot of people get confused with coma. It's not exactly the same thing. And a vegetative state is actually a type of coma, but you're generally awake but unresponsive. So your eyes can be open, but you're still unresponsive.
It is generally confused with coma because it usually comes after a coma.
Correct.
These people like Mrs. Whitebowl and Mrs. Von Bulow, who were in comas for dozens of years or tens of years, were in a vegetative state after X amount of time.
Right.
So if you're in a coma and you go into a vegetative state, you're probably in a lot of trouble. You're probably not going to come out of it.
Right.
Some part of your brainstem responds to stimuli, like maybe a sound. So all of a sudden your eyes, which are no longer coordinated, so they're kind of lolling around, but both in the same direction toward the sound. But there's no awareness of it. You're not using any of your higher brain function to figure out what the sound is. It's just like a basic response.
Right. Your eyes can move. I believe there could be like yawning even. You can yawn if you're in a vegetative
blink
state.
And that kind of thing.
Blinking.
And the one real hallmark of a vegetative state is people in it have sleep cycles. So during the day, they're diurnal still. During the day, they will blink, or their eyes will loll about in their head, or they'll turn their head towards something. And then at night they're not doing that; they're sleeping.
Sure.
In a coma, you just appear to be sleeping the whole time.
Exactly.
So that's one. There's another one that is one of my particular favorite altered states of consciousness.
Stupor?
That actually scared me.
Okay.
Apparently, if you are whacked out of your skull on drugs and you're in a stupor, you're like 1 or 2 steps away from comatose.
Yeah.
It's all the same process is going on. It's just, I guess, to a slightly different degree.
Right. But
that's alarming.
Yeah, it is. So watch out, buddy.
I'm watching out.
But I distracted you. I knew which one you were going to talk about.
You just like to say stupor.
I do.
The one I like the most is locked-in syndrome.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that. The one I like the most.
The one you find most fascinating.
Thank you, Chuck. Locked-in syndrome is basically where you can move. Your higher brain or you can't move. You're totally aware, though. Your higher brain is functioning.
Exactly.
You are literally locked into your body. And basically the only thing you can move are your eyes, typically.
Right.
And that's like Jean-Dominique Bauby from The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Right, which is a great movie. We were just talking with Jerry, our producer, beforehand. We've both seen the film. It's really, really, really great. But you have not, because you're too busy watching Magnum P.I.
Quiet you.
Yeah.
I have. I know enough about the story when it came out. I listened to NPR, and they talked about that like 7 days in a row, I think.
It's really good.
But the guy, because he could move his eyes, he had a computer software system that he could type with it.
Yeah.
But he wrote a book in this locked-in state.
Yes.
Right? And he typed every single letter of this book.
By looking at the...
by choosing like a keyboard, right? Or from like a computer screen keyboard.
I believe that's what happened.
That's nuts.
You see it instantly. It's Coldwater Creek, the mark of exceptional workmanship and signature touches inspired by a Mountain West heritage. Distinctive styles created from quality fabrics, silhouettes perfected with just the right drape, feel-good fits offering ease of movement, and thoughtful details to elevate your look. Coldwater Creek's authenticity is embodied in every piece, embracing its confident spirit that carries through to today. Discover Coldwater Creek clothing, designed to fit your life the way you want. For a wardrobe you can count on season after season, visit coldwatercreek.com. Shop the new spring collection at 20% off $75 or more with code IHEART20.
Doing taxes the old way meant handing everything off and just hoping things were moving. But now you can feel confident your taxes are being handled right with Intuit TurboTax. Now you match with a TurboTax full-service expert. Just upload your documents right in the app, and boom, they take it from there. Start to finish, you've got a dedicated expert working your return. They check every deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome, so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And now you're not guessing what's happening, you're seeing it happen. TurboTax gives you real-time updates on your expert's progress while you go about your day. Run errands, grab a coffee, live your life. You're always in the loop. And if a question pops up, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Taxes are finally transparent, easier, and handled. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
But, I mean, imagine that. Imagine being locked in.
I know.
And knowing exactly what was going on.
I know. Very frustrating, I imagine.
It's very much like the Metallica video 1, except that guy could move.
Right, which was from the film Johnny Got His Gun, I think.
Thank you. Wow. Very nice.
I'm a fountain of film knowledge today.
So those are a couple of other altered states of consciousness, in case you're interested. If not, you should have fast-forwarded through the last, minute and a half, maybe 2. And we're back to coma again. Mm-hmm. Okay, so somebody falls into a coma. How does this happen? What are some of the ways you can become comatose?
Well, there's a bunch of ways. One way is from brain injury, obviously. If you have severe head trauma, you can get an impact that actually makes your brain move within your skull. And I know that if your brain actually hits your skull, that's what a concussion is, correct?
I believe so.
But something more severe than that can cause blood vessels and nerve fibers to swell up and that can potentially cut off the flow of blood and therefore oxygen to the brain, and that's when you're in trouble.
You want your skull to be stationary at all times.
Yes, you do.
Or you want your brain to be stationary at all times in your skull.
Yes.
That's just not good when it slaps around in there.
No, it's not.
So you can also become comatose if you have diabetes.
Right. Diabetes, certain diseases like meningitis can make it happen. Drug overdose can make it happen.
Yeah.
Although I believe you told me they don't even know exactly how that happens. Is that right?
I don't know how it happens. I
Okay.
couldn't find out what leads to it. The way I took it was that there's it slows your response. Maybe it slows the oxygen to your brain or the flow of oxygen to your brain, or it just relaxes muscles that need to be working. I don't know. This is literally off the top of my head right now.
I sense a neurosurgeon email in the near future to clear this up for us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because we like to
want to
learn
know
stuff.
But yeah, there are plenty of ways that you can slip into a coma, and actually you can slip into a coma. You can go through stages of altered consciousness,
Right.
and then end up comatose, which is the granddaddy worst one of all.
Exactly.
Although I don't know, locked-in's probably worse.
Right, but it can happen gradually. That's a good point. Which
Or
is where
it can
the term
happen
comes from.
very quickly, like
Right.
through a major concussion, through a car accident or something like that. If you slipped into a diabetic coma, that would happen gradually, usually.
Right, exactly. You might get feverish and dizzy and lethargic, and then all of a sudden you're in a coma, which is frightening.
It is. Do you have diabetes?
No.
Me neither.
I might one day, though. I think my father got it later in his life.
Is it genetic?
I don't know. I sense another letter from a person with diabetes to clear that up.
At this point, we could just start asking questions.
We
and
should.
Then do like a 20-minute reader mail segment. You know,
Right.
just correcting ourselves every time.
It's a good idea.
All right, so what do you do if you're in a coma? I mean, here, let me just say one thing real quick. After researching comas, you know how when you have a heart attack, your heart actually isn't stopped. It's gone out of its rhythmic beat.
Sure.
So when you are zapped, right, when they hit you with the paddles, what they're doing is actually stopping your heart to give it a chance to restart.
Right.
With a coma, it seems like the pattern of discussion between the different parts of your brain that make you conscious and aware, it's been interrupted. But we don't know how to zap it back into place.
Exactly. That's a good way to say it.
But, I mean, you still have to care for these people.
Exactly.
You can't just say, well, we don't really know how to do anything to make you better.
Right.
There are some ways. Drug overdose, if you sustain someone's life processes, they can come out after the drug begins to wear off, or same with alcohol poisoning.
Right.
A diabetic coma.
They often
can be
do,
treated.
actually.
Yeah. But one, say, like from a major brain injury, you may be in big trouble.
Right.
Or a stroke.
Sure. I think the first thing that has to happen is a doctor has to determine whether or not you're actually in a coma. That's the first step.
Yeah, how do they do that?
Well, there's a couple of scales they use to determine your level of alertness, and one is from Glasgow. It's called the Glasgow Coma Scale.
Oh, is that how it said? There's no accent associated with it?
I'm not going to try my Scottish accent today. Okay. And then there's the Rancho Los Amigos Scale.
No.
I'm not going to do that either.
All right.
We're going to remain respectful in this one. And basically the doctors use these two scales, and there's varying tests of responsiveness with your eyes, verbal responses, motor responses to various stimuli. And so they do this to determine, they use both of these scales actually to basically gauge how alert you are and whether or not you're in fact in a coma.
So is it like they just clap loudly next to your ears and command you to sit up or something like that?
I would say so. I mean, they use do your eyes open when someone speaks to you? Do your eyes open when there's pain involved? So there's all kinds of little ways that they can check. And
yeah, I guess they want to determine whether you're in a coma or whether you're just, resting your eyes or playing possum,
right,
because of what comes after that.
Right, and they assign you a score in a range from 3 to 15.
Right.
3 being a very deep coma and 15 being...
us right now, right?
Yeah, I'm about 14, but yeah.
All right, so we've established you're in a coma. It's awful. You're a 3.
Right.
All right, so you are just completely dead to the world, but you're still alive, amazingly.
Right, that would be comatose and unresponsive is the official classification of that deep of a coma.
Okay, so you're in there. If you're in a car injury, what they're going to do, they're going to triage your symptoms, your problems.
Right.
So if you're in a car wreck or something, you have injuries from that, they're going to, control the bleeding, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they want to stabilize everything else first.
Right.
Or not first, but,
Once you're stable, though, and you're still in a coma, you can't care for yourself any longer. So it's kind of like they're going to poke around to determine what the cause is, maybe. They'll use an EEG, electroencephalography.
Right, or MRI or fMRI, which is basically an MRI for the brain.
Right.
Or a CT scan, which is computed tomography.
Right. Now, they'll use all these things to basically either look inside. An EEG actually is basically kind of like hooking into your electrical system and checking out, how the impulses are doing.
Right.
And they'll diagnose, maybe what caused the coma, that kind of thing. So once you're stabilized, diagnosed in a coma, you've been given the scale rating, and you're in for the long haul. Clearly.
Right. You're stable.
Yeah. They're gonna basically use machines to care for you, like feeding tubes.
Right.
Oftentimes, somebody in a prolonged coma or a vegetative state, they'll perform a tracheotomy.
Sure.
So they don't have to intubate you, because after a while, the intubation tube, I imagine, gets real, uncomfortable.
Right.
That actually so much so that you would prefer a hold of the throat.
Right.
Yeah. Did you know? As a little aside, one of my best friends, a guy named Jens Beatty, in 6th grade, his mom started choking in a restaurant. And actually had an emergency tracheotomy with a steak knife and a pen performed on her. Yeah. There was a doctor there who did it, and he just went, whoosh,
holy cow.
She was breathing again.
That's a worst case scenario right there.
She used to have this little scar. I'm sure she still does. But
wow,
it was crazy. Yeah, it's the only person I ever knew who had an emergency tracheotomy with a steak
I thought
knife.
that was something just you get on the ER or house or something.
Exactly. Like yeah, it happens. It happens.
You see it instantly. It's Cold Water Creek, the mark of exceptional workmanship and signature touches inspired by a Mountain West heritage. Distinctive styles created from quality fabrics, silhouettes perfected with just the right drape, feel-good fits offering ease of movement, and thoughtful details to elevate your look. Cold Water Creek's authenticity is embodied in every piece, embracing its confident spirit that carries through to today. Discover Cold Water Creek clothing, designed to fit your life the way you want. For a wardrobe you can count on season after season, visit coldwatercreek.com. Shop the new spring collection at 20% off $75 or more with code IHEART20.
Doing taxes the old way meant handing everything off and just hoping things were moving. But now you can feel confident your taxes are being handled right with Intuit TurboTax. Now you match with a TurboTax full-service expert. Just upload your documents right in the app, and boom, they take it from there. Start to finish, you've got a dedicated expert working your return. They check every deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome, so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And now you're not guessing what's happening, you're seeing it happen. TurboTax gives you real-time updates on your expert's progress while you go about your day. Run errands, grab a coffee, live your life. You're always in the loop. And if a question pops up, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Taxes are finally transparent, easier, and handled. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
So back to comas. Another thing that is often done is physical therapy just to keep the muscles moving. They'll the nurses will move the patient to prevent bed sores and then move the muscles, flex the legs to keep atrophy from setting in.
Right. Or if you're Uma Thurman, you can do a really focused regime.
Right.
Within an 8-hour period, and you'll be walking again. Right.
True.
Yeah. So wow, we need to bring this down a little bit, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah, because researching it, it's when you really get a grasp on comas and the peculiar nature of them, and just the fact that we have no way to bring somebody out of a coma.
Right.
It's kind of heartbreaking to think that there are families out there who go to the hospital every day or every week,
hoping.
And you hope, because there's people like Patricia Whitebull,
right,
who sit up all of a sudden, and there you have it. Somebody can come out of a long coma. That's rough.
True. I've got a study for you that might encourage you a bit.
I'd love to hear it.
It's from 2006. It's from Dr. Adrian Owen of Cambridge University, a neuroscientist, and he's trying to determine a consciousness meter for people in comas in vegetative states. So what he does is he hooks a normal, healthy person up to an fMRI machine, which I know you understand how that works, right?
Well, it uses magnetic imaging to see through the skull. and basically it's watching the brain and it's watching the electrical activity in the brain.
Okay.
So if, the prefrontal cortex lights up when you tell somebody to, when somebody sees a bunny, you'll know that the prefrontal cortex is involved in taking cuteness into context or something.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Oh, thanks.
So he'll hook up a healthy person and then someone in a coma or vegetative state and ask them to do something like imagine playing a game of tennis, I believe is what he used on this one woman. Mm-hmm. And he found that the brain activity was really similar for both of these people, which led him to believe that there may be a lot more brain activity going on in some of these different states of mind. So,
yeah, that pretty much flatly contradicts our understanding of vegetative states.
True, but it also, this was one person, I believe, that it was successful in, and I'm sure there's been subsequent studies since, but he himself said that, we need to keep studying this kind of thing before we make any determinations.
Yeah, we need to basically figure out how to bring people out of comas.
Right, but it does happen. You can come out of a coma.
Yeah, no, you totally can.
You can't bring someone out of a coma, but I think they said that 87% who score a 3 or 4 on the scale within the first 24 hours are likely to either die or remain in the vegetative state, so that's no good.
No.
But on the other side, 87% who score between 11 to 15 are likely to make a good recovery. So,
well, it makes sense. I mean, if you can, shake somebody's hand when they tell you to,
right,
you're probably going to make it.
But apparently it's those first 24 hours are really telling.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So that's comas, huh?
That's my understanding of comas.
The great medical mystery that still remains.
Yeah.
Solved one day. Maybe.
Hope so.
All right. Chilling. Chuck, you want to do listener mail?
Yeah, let's do listener mail. And I'm starting to separate listener mail into different categories now.
The cream from the rest of the crop, as it were?
Exactly.
The men from the boys?
Well, just more like a good way to...
The women from the girls?
Shut it. So, first of all, we've decided to change this one part to stuff we should know. This is instead of corrections. A lot of times they're not an actual correction, but something a listener has added that we did not realize. And
or stuff we should have known.
Stuff we should have known. We can call it that. But that actually came from Brian Smith of California, suggested we call it that.
Yeah, we are actively following our listeners' commands
right.
at this point.
So, Brian, we appreciate the title there, and we're going to use that now. So, something we did miss in the body armor episode, we talked about a lot of kinds of body armor, which was good. But we failed to mention one new, very awesome one called dragon skin armor. And apparently these are little small overlapping ceramic discs, sort of like the medieval scale mail, and it's just a modern version essentially, and it's more effective from repeated hits from a bullet. So quite a few people sent this in. Michael Shivitz, retired naval officer, or I don't know about officer, but retired U.S. Navy. Renee Marino from Brooklyn, and Devin Montes in California, and I'm sure we missed a few others. But
yeah, we actually got a lot of mail about the dragon scales. I have to say I find it comforting to know that we're advancing light years now.
Right, and I have one more quick one, and this is apropos to our topic today of comas. John Mulqueen is a doctor in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And John wrote in and said, I thought it would never happen, but I heard a mistake on stuff you should know. Exorcism, apparently, you said, this was not me, you said that someone with epilepsy, you could throw somebody in an MRI machine and look at the parts of the brain and see that someone is epileptic. And John says that actually you would not see epilepsy in an MRI. Seizures are diagnosed with an EEG machine, which is what we just spoke about. So,
gotcha.
We appreciate that correction.
Yeah, thank you. Is he from Farmington?
Framingham? No, he's from Gardner, Mass.
Well, XXOO to all of our listeners who sent mail, and you too can send mail. You can send it to stuffpodcast@HowStuffWorks.com. I got to tell you, there's plenty more information on comas in the great article on the site called How Comas Work. Just type those 3 little words into our handy search bar. And, of course, HowStuffWorks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit HowStuffWorks.com. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
You see it instantly. It's Coldwater Creek, the mark of exceptional workmanship and signature touches inspired by a Mountain West heritage. Distinctive styles created from quality fabrics, silhouettes perfected with just the right drape. feel-good fits offering ease of movement and thoughtful details to elevate your look. Coldwater Creek's authenticity is embodied in every piece, embracing its confident spirit that carries through to today. Discover Coldwater Creek clothing, designed to fit your life the way you want. For a wardrobe you can count on season after season, visit coldwatercreek.com. Shop the new spring collection at 20% off $75 or more with code IHEART20.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/iHeart. Terms apply.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.